What's going on, guys? We're getting into the playoff push. Time for another episode of Shout at the Plate. Chip's making a lot of Zoom background noise there. Um, but yeah, it's the playoffs. Regular season is done. Dodgers with a historic, 110 plus wins. The Mets and Braves had an interesting last week of the season, finishing tied with 101 wins each. And what else? What else? Oh, the Seattle Mariners broke their 21-year playoff drought.
Thank
Welcome to
God.
welcome to Shout at the Plate. Go Mariners. Seriously though, go Mariners. They're playing the Blue Jays.
No, we all want the Mariners to win.
So what do you guys think of that? We'll just dive in with the first matchup right there. Mariners Blue Jays. Who do you like?
Nobody. Like the AL sucks. The AL's garbage. The A like it's like the AL has one team that would have won the NL East. One. That's so sad. Like I don't care. Who cares about the Mariners and the Blue Jays? That series is entirely performative. I don't It is a LARP of a series. They're just LARPing out. Who cares?
Oh my
No,
goodness.
I will guarantee you like a kidney that neither of those teams plays for a World Series.
I bet.
But
I mean, it's baseball, so they
I am
might, but
very excited to have three kidneys, even though you may not be a match for me.
that is a performative series of
All right, so if
nonsense,
it's
and I
performative
will
or not,
not
who
talk about it.
wins? Who wins?
Someone has to win, Chip. Can't just send the Astros to the ALCS.
Yes, you can. You probably should actually.
I mean, fair, but like they have to
They
play.
the
Pick
Astros are going to beat whoever makes it out of this series in the ALDS, but
pick
who's it
pick
gonna
a
be?
winner, Chip.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm not a fan of the expanded playoff, but I don't know, like who's got home field?
The Astros.
No, in the Mariners whatever series.
It's being played north of the border in the
Is
fictional
anybody
country known as Canada.
unvaccinated? Is anyone?
Canada rescinded that. They're all good. So it'd
Oh,
be Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray would be the big difference maker, I think. But
But
he can now go to Canada
it'll probably
did he
be
pitch in
like
Canada? Wait, hold on. How did Robbie Ray pitch last year?
because they didn't have that in place.
No, wait, no. Didn't they not play in Canada?
Well, for most
they
of the
didn't play in
season,
Canada
yeah,
until like August.
July or August,
Okay, all
yeah.
right. So yeah, never mind.
But yeah, it's probably going to be like Manoa against Castillo game one, Gosman, Ray game two, and then like if needed, Stripling and Gilbert game three.
if we're
I gotta
being
go with
honest,
Gilbert there.
that might be the most fun series of round one.
It should be.
It
You got
should be. I mean,
you got
Tampa is
Julio
gonna,
Rodriguez going on one
yeah.
side, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. if he ever learns how to hit like he did last year again.
Wait. Tampa's in it?
Tampa's playing
Tampa
Cleveland.
plays Cleveland,
Yeah, I haven't.
but
Oh,
Tampa's
that
a
sucks.
six
Oh,
seed, which
holy
is kind
shit,
of
that
nutty.
sucks. That's
Tampa plays
awful.
Cleveland for the right to play the Yankees.
Yeah, I haven't paid attention to the AL at all, if we're being honest.
Yeah, so it's Toronto and
That's
Seattle, and
Garbo.
then
That's
Tampa against
terrible.
Cleveland. But
Chip,
Tampa's the last seed in the playoffs. They're the
You're
Tampa,
sixth
well.
seed on the
neither
outside.
Tampa,
Tampa nor Cleveland deserves to be in the playoffs, and I understand that Cleveland won their division. I don't care.
Bring me the Orioles.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, like honestly,
Honestly,
like
the Orioles, after what the Yankees did in August, and with none of the other teams really being great this year, the Orioles after April kind of deserved to win the AL
You mean
East.
the entire after April, so the entire season?
No, like after April, if you just count from the beginning of May to the end of the season, like the Yankees finished with a better record over that time span than the Orioles, but the Orioles were second in the division in that time frame.
I have an
Oh,
extremely
okay.
hot
I
take
understand.
that I think is really a good idea.
Is it about Adley Rutschman? Because I
Are
would like
you
to
gonna
weigh in.
talk about how the sixth seed should be voted in by the fans?
No, but that's a
Don't
way
say
better
that
idea.
too loud.
That's actually a really good idea, and that's way better than this. But like,
You're
what
still
they
not
should
getting out of
do,
picking a winner of those series, by the way.
Yeah,
okay,
we're
I
gonna make you
will.
do
But
that.
like, what they should do is they should have Like, fuck divisions. No more divisions. We're not doing that. And 1 through 4 seeded based on record in each, and it's a 14 playoff.
You see, I like that. And I was talking about this with one of the guys I work with today. Shout out Mike. Um, but what the NFL does, or sorry, what the NBA does is they have divisions. There are 30 teams, 5 teams per division, 3 divisions per conference. That doesn't matter for the playoffs. You seed 1 through 8, and that's how you get into or now 1 through 10, and that's how you get into the play-in or playoffs.
What?
And yeah, you just seed based on record within your conference. Divisions don't mean anything in the NBA except maybe scheduling. And even I don't know that. But baseball, I mean, last year, if you had a playoff format similar to what the NBA does last year, the Giants would have been the 1 seed in the NL, the Dodgers would have been the 2 seed, and they probably would have met up in the NLCS instead of the NLDS.
What my idea does is it gets rid of the old problem that a really, really good team who didn't win their division got screwed out of a playoff spot. And it gets rid of the new problem, which in my opinion is a huge overcorrection of terrible playoff teams. Especially considering how fluky baseball is, I don't think these bad teams deserve a shot at the World Series.
Well, how much do you think the wild card
strengths
series offsets any of that? That's my question.
No, I mean, get them out. Like, your season's over. Like,
but what you came up with as
the
an
Rays
example
deserve to not be playing any more baseball. The Phillies don't deserve to be playing baseball right now.
That's all true, and I agree with you 100%. But the Braves and Dodgers each won 101 or more games.
Okay.
The Yankees and Astros each won 99 or more games. Then you've got the Cardinals and Guardians, the number 3 seeds in their leagues, and they are clearly a step below the top 2 teams in their leagues.
Okay, look,
so they're sent to the wild card round.
Okay, but what you do is you have the 3 seed play the 2 seed, 1 seed play the 4 seed. Do it like the college football playoff in each division, or in each league. That's it.
I mean, that's how it used to be.
No. It used to basically be
3 division winners and then the next best team.
Okay, but no.
That's how it was before they even started the wild card.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we don't do divisions anymore. We don't. So it's just seeded 1 through 4. No more.
I think the expanded or the balanced schedule for next year is a step towards taking out divisions.
I understand that,
or making them less meaningful.
Winner and a division loser, like there's like the Mets. The Mets should not have a harder road to anything than the Cardinals. That's silly.
The Mets Cardinals get the Phillies, and then if they win, the Braves.
That's a joke.
The Mets get the Padres, and then if they win, the Dodgers.
That's bullshit. The Mets should have the Cardinals position because they're way better.
So I see what you're saying. Okay.
Mets would be the 3 seed under a non-divisional alignment.
Yes, I see what you're saying. Okay. I don't disagree with that. I mean, I think I don't disagree with that. I mean, I think that in
I mean, that's one of the strengths of the NBA's playoff format, so I like that.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I think about it is that, like, you've made it to the playoffs, right? The way that tournaments are typically set up in basically every format, when it boils down to it, is the better you are getting to the tournament, the higher your seed is. And it doesn't have, and I agree with you, it doesn't have anything to do with, like, what conference or what division or whatever it is. So I agree with you. I think that's right.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah.
But we're stuck in this right now. So going back to the first question of the episode,
get fucked again.
Who's gonna win between Seattle and Toronto?
Who's gonna move on to the division series?
Toronto, whatever.
I'm gonna take
2.
I'm gonna take the Blue Jays in 3.
No, I'm changing my. Wait, no. I mean, like you have baseball versus vibes, right? Like the vibes pick is totally Seattle. The vibes pick is totally Seattle. Like the vibes are with Seattle.
But you know what? I'm going vibes
That's
all across
true.
the board then.
I'm not going with vibes. I'm going with baseball.
But like vibes in playoff baseball
They
isn't
matter. You're right.
that bad.
You're right.
Like
Also,
that's a good pick.
I also think the Blue Jays have no dog in them. Like if they had any dog in them, they
They have
probably
no
would have
dog
won
in
the
them.
division.
No,
We
Like
they
they
should
had
don't.
honestly, we should get Shady on this pod because he
nobody
one.
knows who that is.
All right, our buddy Shady, he's from Canada. He's also a Bengals fan, so Chip agrees with him on some things.
Like the Bengals sucking.
He's
The
a,
Bengals are terrible.
he's a huge Blue Jays fan. He's in our fantasy baseball league. We should get him on the pod. Just to
Traded all of his team away, and that's why I didn't win the league.
the lockout is why you didn't win the league.
That and me trading Shohei Ohtani, but that's
You traded Shohei Ohtani to your opponent in the finals, and then
yeah.
he beat you with Shohei Ohtani as his highest scoring player.
Yeah, that's right.
But I also traded him Vlad Guerrero Jr. for like
we all
Guys, we all
happened
made
to
all
us.
bad
made-
trades
It all
with
we're
happened
talking
to
Mo.
us
about
at
Mo.
one
It's
point.
We're
okay.
talking about Mo.
We all
You
made
guys
bad
know-
trades
you guys
with
know
him.
Mo.
We can't
Oh.
act like we all didn't make stupid decisions in the moment.
I
In
Because
the
he would
know.
wear us
moment.
down. Shut up.
We-
Because
he
he
would
would
weigh
talk.
He would wear
He
us
would
down.
talk
Yeah.
at us for like 2 hours and would get us to agree to the trade.
It's like appeasement. We all just gave him a slice of a European country, and then he just took it.
So does that mean you're taking Blue Jays or Mariners?
I'm gonna take the Mariners because
In how many games?
If the Blue Jay 3, it's gonna be competitive. But if the Blue Jays had any dog in them, they probably would have won the division. So like
Yeah,
they
that's true.
straight
I
up have
agree with
no
that.
dog in them. They're none.
So wait, how does the home field advantage work in wild card since it's best
All
of three?
three.
Is it
All three
it's
Are
all three?
played in one
Okay.
ballpark, higher seed.
I am going to one of them though. I am going to be back in time for Sunday, so I'll go to that.
That is sick.
That's gonna be awesome.
The
That's
Mets
sick.
better not lose though, because I do want to go to the series next weekend. If the Mets lose after not winning the division, I'm gonna go insane.
Okay, so
Okay.
Chip, what do you think about the rumors that they're gonna sit DeGrom in the wild card
They
series?
aren't gonna sit DeGrom. They're gonna sit him for game 2, and if they need him in game 3, they would pitch.
That's the smart strategy. You start
I
Scherzer
agree.
game 1, Bassett game 2,
yeah.
who is no slouch. He's the clear
No,
number
that's
3 in that
hard.
rotation. But you start him game 2. You
Well, there's
either
no
have
difference.
DeGrom in case you lose game 2.
Right.
You figure
That's-
you win game 1 at home with Scherzer
You better.
against a
Yeah.
team that finished like 15 games behind you in the standings.
Fucking better.
The Padres are not as good as the Mets.
I agree, but Yu Darvish is pretty filthy himself.
So you
Yeah,
figure,
but, like,
if you lose game 1, you should go to DeGrom game 2.
You have to. You have no choice. But like, so here's the reasoning, right? Like the reasoning I think is that you expect to win game 1 with Scherzer, and if you do, then
You have a
you
cushion.
either have to pitch DeGrom in game 2
Agree.
and then Bassett if you lose. It's you could go for the kill and you can justify that, but the fact of the matter is you are
It's
more
the
than likely
right
going to have
baseball
to
call.
use both. You're going to have to use DeGrom, and you're almost certainly going to have to use DeGrom and Bassett anyway. So the order, like
Would you rather have Bassett or DeGrom pitching a must-win game?
the
That's
answer
the
is
bottom
DeGrom,
line.
and I'd rather have the possibility of saving him so he can pitch in the NLDS.
He can pitch twice in the NLDS.
Right, exactly. So I think they're right. I don't think Buck Showalter is going to risk pulling a Zach Britton and then having fucking Carlos Carrasco start game 3 instead of DeGrom.
I was trying to remember who the manager was that left that left Britton in the bullpen, and then I remembered it was Buck.
If Buck
Ubaldo
Showalter
Jimenez.
started Carrasco,
Ubaldo Jimenez.
if he started Carrasco in game 3 over DeGrom and they lost, that would be the funniest thing a manager has ever done in the history of baseball. I would be upset, but like more of me would, I think, enjoy it just because of how funny it would be. Of course, he's not going to do that.
So you took Mariners over Blue Jays in 3. Max, is that your call too?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean,
you know
I
what?
think
I'm gonna join you guys
the
on that. I'm gonna
vibes
say,
matter.
yeah,
vibes matter.
Julio Rodriguez is gonna go apeshit in these playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto sure in what it was 2020 and then 21 when they moved back home to Toronto were like super hot, but over the course of this past season,
The
I mean,
vibes
they
aren't
were
there.
good, but like they didn't have that. And I think Chip's right. They don't have the dog. Like Julio's a dog.
Yeah,
Like
they're
he's gonna
the Blue Jays aren't competitors. They're mentally and psychologically weak. So they're gonna lose.
So then let's get over to the other series that we were just talking about. It's
Tampa.
probably
It's
Scherzer
Tampa.
Darvish game one.
Oh, sorry.
Um, in the Mets Padres, sorry. Scherzer Darvish game one probably. We'll say Bassett Snell game two, and then DeGrom Musgrove game three. I'm taking the Mets in three.
Uh, I think the Mets are gonna. I think the Mets are gonna do it in two. Just like
And I just like to point out, as a Yankee fan, I am rooting for the Mets really hard right now.
I kind of want Mets Yankees World Series.
it's
I
it's.
want that. I don't think that's what's going to happen.
No,
We'll get
I
to
don't
World
think
I
it's
Series
don't.
gonna
predictions
happen
I don't.
later.
either.
I don't think the Mets are good enough. Like the fact of the matter, like I do think they're gonna beat San Diego, but the Mets are dramatically worse than the Braves, and I've said this the whole time. Like
You said that on our first episode.
I said it on the first episode. I said it through the season. I said it when the Mets were up 10 games. I said it when the Mets had the division lead 99% of the season. The Braves are a way better baseball team. They just are. They're
I
so
agree.
like it's actually
And
crazy.
they
Like
got that dog in them.
yeah, but like the Mets do too. The Mets certainly do too. Like the Mets have had an incredible amount of comeback wins. I think they've overperformed their roster a little bit in terms of record, especially since they only had like 12 starts of DeGrom, actually fewer. And they missed Scherzer for 8 weeks. So like they didn't have either of those guys for 8 weeks of the season, and they still won 101 games. That's pretty insane. They have a lot of dog in them. Um, but like the Braves don't have a weakness. That's the thing. They underperformed in my opinion. I think they are roster wise. I think they're better than the Dodgers. Like I think they're the
I
best.
would agree with that.
I think they're the
Yeah,
best team in baseball.
they're so good,
They
dude.
are. They have
And
the
they're
best
fun. Like,
bullpen
I
in
get that you're a Mets
baseball.
fan, but they're so fun to watch.
They're incredibly fun to. I think they play baseball the
That's
right way.
subjective.
They are. They play baseball the right way. Um, They are super like they do everything efficiently, right? They for a ton of power. They hit the ball hard. They put the ball in the air. Like they do all the things that are reliable indicators of success. They have an elite bullpen, probably top two or three in baseball, and they have an incredible rotation of young arms, which has nothing to do with the immediate term, their youth, but like they're built to win now. They're built to win in the future. They not the Dodgers actually may be the premier organization in baseball in terms of process and the way they do things. If they had the Dodgers payroll, like
Sure.
they would win.
Oof.
Like first of all, they would have
Sure.
re-signed Freddie Freeman, but like if they had the Dodgers payroll,
Olson's no slouch.
no,
He
I know
started
I
slow,
told
but he's
he's not, but he's not Freeman.
true.
Um, the
Freddie
fact
Freeman,
of the
who
matter is,
lost a batting title to Jeff
yeah,
McNeil on the
Jeff
last day of the
McNeil.
season. Freeman was leading the NL batting race literally since day one, I think. I have no stats right now to back that up, but
Yeah,
I'm
well,
pretty
that's
sure.
the Mets. The
That's at
Mets
least pretty close.
That's basically
Jeff
how the
McNeil,
division
I
went. So the Mets had to take the
as much as I'm rooting for
yeah.
the Mets against the Padres this weekend, I cannot stand Jeff McNeil. I cannot stand Pete Alonso. I cannot stand Brendan Nimmo.
I love those guys.
But
Like
like,
Jeff
I
McNeil's
love DeGrom. I love Scherzer. I love watching Francisco Lindor play. So like, yeah, I'm Manny Machado. Come on.
Nah.
no Manny Machado's way better than any
I'm
player
not
on the
saying
Mets.
he's worse. I'm saying more likable guys on the Mets than on the Padres. Although I love
Oh
Juan
yeah,
Soto. If Juan Soto can remember
he
who
sucks
he
right now
is,
though. He
if he
sucks.
can remember who he is, he can win these two games by himself.
Sure.
No, he can't.
All right. So since it's the one that I don't think any of us wants to talk about. Oh, Max, did you have a prediction for Mets Padres?
If the Mets win game one, they're winning in two. If they lose game one, they're winning in three.
Okay.
But I have the Mets winning.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
a I I I don't feel good about them if they lose game one with Scherzer, but no, I don't know, man. They need to win. They should win.
they
I
will.
think they will win in two.
I also just think that a game three for a wild card, though, right, is like gonna be a completely different beast than anything we've ever seen.
Yeah,
So
it's
we have
gonna
no idea what Buck is gonna pull out of his sleeve. Like we don't know. Like
He could throw
it could
Scherzer
be
out there in
any.
relief.
Yeah, like
no, he
he could do
can't. Are you
something
kidding me? He'll
fucking
kill him.
crazy. Yeah, but
Scherzer's
like
40.
It's
Scherzer
He'll
would
die.
probably
crazy,
like
but it's literally the equivalent of a game seven. It's like the
Scherzer
old
would
wild card games.
yeah,
You
he
would
would
not be able to
bully
pitch Scherzer in the
You
division
will
series.
do
I don't
what
think
it
that.
takes to win, and then you will reassess after you've won.
Look, I agree. Except I don't know, but like
because you've got a 5 game series for the NLDS.
Plus days
Like you
off
can
between
sit,
game 1 and 2
yeah,
and between 2 and 3.
if
yeah,
DeGrom can figure out the like 4 mistake pitches he's been making in his last few starts, I think in game 3 he might throw a no hitter. Like he might just go ballistic. Like I
And
can
that's the one you're
easily
going to be there for, right?
yeah. Well, I hope it's not necessary, but like
that's electric though.
yeah, like
City Field is like, imagine Edwin Diaz coming in a must-win game, up 1 run.
Uh,
dude,
Your
that's
your
probably gonna
heart's
happen at
gonna
some point.
explode.
There's no way that's not gonna happen.
I would
Either
watch. I would watch
I would watch the shit out of
every
that.
pitch of that game.
either
Yeah,
either in this series or if they win in the next one, that's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, it's
so,
playoff
So
baseball. He's gonna come in at some point.
he's definitely pitching in this series. I would be unless they
yeah.
get the shit kicked out of them. He's pitching.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
I am gonna take the Mets, but I'm gonna say 3 regardless.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean it's hard not to pick 3. It's hard, but like
Um, so let's talk about the one that none of us really wants to talk about. Rays Guardians. I don't really
fuck.
know what the pitching matchups are going to be. I don't know those two teams well
I
enough.
don't care. It's gonna be
Oh, who
Tampa
that?
Bay.
It's like
It's
that Mike Francesa video where he found out that like
I'm
guy.
taking
Oh,
I'm taking the AL Central champs, Cleveland Guardians
who?
in 3.
Oh, right, yeah, Cleveland, yeah.
I'm going to say they win in 3. I think Tampa's got good starting pitching. Cleveland's got good starting pitching. They've got a young, fun lineup. Tampa Bay's lineup is kind of mid, and they've been struggling the last couple of weeks. That's why they're the 6th seed instead of the
They have
4 seed.
they don't have
And
players.
the big difference maker at the back end, Emmanuel Clase, is the best closer in the American League. So
Yeah,
Cleveland in
um,
3.
I'm taking the Rays, mostly because Tyler Glasnow hasn't factored into their how they've performed this season yet. So I think they're a slightly better team than they have been all year. Is Shane Baz healthy too?
I don't
I
believe
don't
so.
know actually.
I
I
don't
haven't
care. I'm
heard his
starting
name in a
to
while. But
I'm
they've
still
got,
picking
they've
the
got
Rays.
Springs, they've got Rasmussen.
Oh my God,
Um,
no, never, no. I don't care. Like, no, like this series is going to be decided entirely on variance and not baseball. Like
it's picking which team loses in 4 games to the Yankees.
probably. I mean,
Yeah.
look, it is
But as a
playoff
Yankee
baseball.
fan, I
It is
would rather
playoff
face
baseball.
Cleveland.
It's playoff
Yeah, of
baseball, so
course.
they
I
might
would
fucking
too.
lose.
Divisional,
Who
like when you
knows?
get divisional matchups in the playoffs, things get all wonky. Like when the
Also,
Yankees
when
played the
it's
Rays in San Diego 2 years ago.
it's also
You know,
the Rays, right? Like they're gonna do some crazy shit.
They have like a fucked up little chihuahua in them when it comes to they got that dog in them.
Yeah, which is like probably means
It
a
could
lot
have
more
it
than
could have
yeah.
rabies and it could just, freak out and go
yeah, I mean,
ballistic.
the Yankees kind of don't have any dog in them though. So I mean, like
Yeah, but they have the best player in the major leagues this year.
I would straight up just walk him literally every time he's up in the playoffs. Like,
But you know what?
I would too, honestly.
Rizzo had a good, you know, when he was
no, he
healthy
didn't.
this year.
No, he didn't. He was
Giancarlo
bad.
Stanton's picked it up the last couple of games.
Not a great plan. Pitching around
uh,
Judge is super easy. It's like it is.
would you even say it was barely an inconvenience?
Yeah, no. Like, oh, how'd you beat the Yankees? Oh, we pitched around Judge. Oh, super easy, barely an inconvenience. Yeah, no, just pitch around Judge. So fucking
Um, that's probably what they're gonna do.
that's what the Astros are going to do, and then they're like that's the Yankees' weakness is that they don't have adequate lineup protection to stop people from pitching around Judge.
I think
Well,
that's generally true. I mean, I think on paper that might not like make that much, but based off of what we know of this season, I think that's right.
I
I
mean,
still have
I've watched
Tampa.
them. I've watched them more than you guys.
Yeah, that's true.
But I respect your opinions.
George just hates us.
The
It's okay.
Yankees had a shit ton of walk-off wins, come from behind wins, including against the Astros this year and including against Tampa Bay. Um, you know, Judge hit his 61st home run against Pittsburgh. What was it, a week and a half ago? And they were down 8-4 at the time or 7-3 at the time. They make it 7-4, and Giancarlo comes up three batters later and hits a ultimate grand slam to win
Wow,
the
good thing
game.
they're playing Pittsburgh in the playoffs.
Well, I'm just saying that this team maybe has more fight than the one that, got shelled at Fenway Park in the wild card game last year,
Yeah, they
which
went
was
out sad last year.
a complete waste of $150 on my part.
They went out really sad last year. That was hilarious.
It was just the worst night. Being at Fenway Park, that I may never go to another game at Fenway Park.
I'm shocked that you went, to be honest.
I was optimistic. It was Garrett Cole, and the
Like-
Yankees had just killed Evaldi the week before.
Yeah, but hostile environment in Fenway, game on the line. Like,
Well, that
I'm
game is
shocked that you
100%
went.
the reason why I want the Yankees to only, unless they need to, finagle the rotation with Cortez, Severino, and Tyone. Try to get Cole as many starts at home in these playoffs, because when he's in a hostile road environment, I mean, you saw what happened in the wild card game last year.
That goes to Chip's point. He doesn't have the dog in him, man. Like, if you
No,
can't, if
I
you
mean, maybe
can't
he'll
do that as
maybe
a
he'll
$300
go.
million pitcher
Garrett
in a
Cole,
hostile
we
environment.
do have to talk about Garrett Cole because like he's not even their ace.
He's paid to be.
This
Garrett-
year,
yeah,
or
I
do
don't
you
care,
mean in
like-
general?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
but
he
like
pitched to a 3.5 ERA with almost 260 strikeouts this
three
year.
and a half. I thought it was like 305.
No,
Oh my god, that's so much
but
worse than I thought.
he's the kind of guy, and I was talking about this
If
with
Jacob
people I work
DeGrom had
with.
a 350 ERA, he would get surgery.
The thing about Cole is that what's happened, especially this last month, is that he will be going, 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs. And then he'll get into a little bit of trouble, and then he'll hang a breaking ball, and suddenly his line is like 4 runs.
Don't do that.
So honestly, they just gotta, take him out after 5 innings.
The thing about
Unless they're up a lot.
Garrett Cole, the thing about Garrett Cole is that it's really hard to grip the ball. Like,
All right, moving on. We're gonna talk about the Phillies Cardinals series, because that's what you all watch us to hear about.
Can we like make this one quick, because like
Yeah,
I don't care about this one at all.
I'm gonna take the team that's gonna win both games, really, really easily. It's gonna be the Cardinals, and it's gonna be in 2 games. The Phillies are
yeah,
bad.
whatever.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm taking the Phillies.
Bullshit.
No, I'm taking the Phillies. The every year there's a division winner that like chokes real hard. And the Cardinals have big time choker written all over them.
They also have postseason dog in them written all over
no,
them.
they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. That was like 12 years ago. Well, I would say all those guys are gone, but somehow they're not. But
They
like,
will be.
Yeah, they
Albert
will
Pujols
be.
is hitting a walk-off home run in both games of this series.
the only people who have on that team who have any postseason dog in them are in their 70s. Like
That's not inaccurate.
It's
70s is correct.
I am taking the
I
Phillies.
think you mean 700s.
I am taking the
70s.
Phillies. I'm taking the Phillies because
You want to be difficult?
No, because they have Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler,
True.
both pitching extremely well.
That's
right
true.
Now.
The Cardinals are throwing out Jose Quintana and Miles Michaelis in games 1 and 2.
That is a
Wayno.
series. So I think the Phillies.
They should go to Jordan Montgomery in game 3. I'll say
It
it.
should.
The
It should
more,
be.
the more games in a series, the less viable the Phillies become. However,
In a
Yeah.
short series.
in a short series, their team is dramatically better than it is on the median because of who they have going in 67% of the possible games. That's Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola, who have both pitched their balls off this year.
They're breaking balls.
They are so good. They
Stop
are
it.
so good. Aaron Nola, particularly right now, is absolutely killing it. Of course, Zach Wheeler is now back and fully stretched out. And he just is what he is now. Like he's not having great years. This is just who he is. Um, I think the Phillies will win this series. I think they are a team I straight up would want no part of seeing in a 3-game series. Frankly, for the same reason the Padres are, because of they would have Musgrove and Darvish, but the Mets have DeGrom and Scherzer to offset that. But in this case, like the starting pitching advantage is such a big force multiplier here that I think it pulls the Phillies ahead in a 3-game sample.
This is true,
They
but
played 10 games
what we
in 10
haven't
days, they would struggle.
what we haven't discussed is how crazy postseason games can get. For example, that game between the Cardinals and Braves last year. Was it last year? A couple years ago? Where I think it was the Braves. I don't remember. One of the teams dropped a 10 spot in the first inning. There is a certain element of randomness, especially in playoff baseball, that you don't really see that much in the regular season. And I think the Cardinals' offense is better than that of the Phillies. And I think, you know what?
I don't
Maybe
care.
Nola is pitching in the playoffs for the first time.
So was Wheeler, I believe.
Wheeler didn't pitch in 2015.
No, he was recovering from Tommy John that year.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if they had him though, that would have been gross. Instead of Steven Matz at the 4, like
They would have
Jesus.
lost to the Royals in 6
We
games
have
instead of 5.
Dan Warthen. Dan Warthen is one of the best pitching coaches of a generation. That guy is awesome.
And now you have Hugh Hefner.
No, Jeremy Hefner's great too, but Dan Warthen developed DeGrom, Scherzer, not Scherzer, obviously. DeGrom, Syndergaard before he got hurt and started to suck. DeGrom, Syndergaard, Harvey, and Wheeler into the pitchers that like they all had the same power slider, they all had the same four seamer, like they were all similar to each other in a way that is a clear imprint. So I think they win the series. Because of that, I think Wheeler and Nola go out and do the thing. I think the reliance on Goldschmidt and Arenado is a little risky and subject to variance. If those guys don't show up at a super high level, they're cooked.
Yeah. Um, my laptop's about to die, so we're gonna call it quits right there. We'll have more episodes during the rest of the playoffs. So see you later.
See ya.